Welcome to Prep Sports Network's Coaches Show. I'm Brian Stanley. Joining me, as always, head coach of Mission Prep Royals, David Schuster. A lovely win for the football program in week 1, week 0, depending on what section you're in these days. But a beautiful win over Brentwood School Eagles, 49-7. Coach, it was a dominating defensive performance. Even had a defensive touchdown by Captain Jack Susank. As I've dubbed him this season, the jack of all trades, because he's doing everything for you and making it look good. He is also our Mama Leah's player of the game on PSNtv from this past game. Had a fumble recovery for the touchdown, a couple offensive touchdowns. I believe he had an interception as well, off the top of my head. Talk about his performance in that game, which assisted the rest of the team in bringing up their standards to pull out such a great win.
Yeah, I mean, Jack really has turned himself into an extremely special player. You could tell physically the difference between Jack and almost everybody else in the field. He's really become a remarkable athlete. I think he hurdled a couple kids in the game. He's out running kids. If he gets a crease, he can blow past just about everybody. And then the physical stamina that he's got for himself, where he can go basically 3 ways, never comes off the field, and he still feels fresh in the third and the fourth quarter. He's become just an extremely special athlete to watch, and you can see right off the bat, as soon as I think it was his first carry, he goes like 50 yards. And just the physical separation he has against almost everybody he plays against. And he brings a very physical brand of football with him. And there's an expectation of excellence because that's the standard he has for himself. The kid's got a 4.8 GPA, class president. He's at every practice. He's got everybody dialed in. He's upheld the standard of the program in a major way. We've had kids kind of going around and go, hey, I'm going to, a couple of freshmen talking about, hey, I'm going to miss practice because I got homework, and Jack instantly is pulling them aside, going, no, you don't know. Like Jack just elevates everybody around him because he works so hard himself, and he demands that same type of effort from everybody else. And so, it's exciting to see him play and kind of, you can see the physical and mental separation that Jack has against everybody else, and that elevates everyone else's play. So just very proud of him. Had a great game, and fortunately we were able to shut him down early and let other kids play. But yeah, very, very proud of Jack.
Yeah, one of those players that got into the game, Drew Harrigan, put in some work on the offensive side of the ball in place of Jack Susank at running back. Did some tremendous work, and then Colby White at quarterback, moving the ball through the air pretty well. Great job on the offensive side of the ball. Talk a little bit about the team. Maybe some players you want to point out that had some great moments in the game before we move on to what's coming up next for you guys.
Yeah, I think Colby White, I felt did a really, really nice job. A couple of really bad penalties, stupid penalties. Otherwise, his stats would look way better than they do. There's 3 really, really nice balls that he threw that all got called back for penalties, and which was, extremely unfortunate because, we really want to try to highlight what he can do. And I think some people saw some of that. He's throwing 50-yard bombs from the opposite hash. He's, doing really, really well maneuvering the pocket and getting out of trouble and delivering the ball downfield. So I thought Colby did very, very, very well in the game. Had probably two plays that I felt that he could improve on, but overall did very, very nicely. Ryan Audet, Ryan Audet, Caleb Alim, and Gabe Rodriguez on the interior right there. They struggled to run the football all night. They couldn't really run very much, and that was, I felt, crucial for us being able to make them one-dimensional and allow us to kind of do some other stuff defensively. So Ryan Audet kind of really doing a great job there in the interior. David Luera led the team in tackles, was a major force off the edge. very proud of him. Caden Elmerick, extremely proud of the way he's really turned himself into something special. And Grant Callahan's another kid that I feel is really getting overlooked for whatever reason. But, man, he's doing a great job at corner, had a pick, pretty much shut down that side of the ball, and just extremely proud of his growth and development as well. So there are a lot of young men that I could list through, but those probably are the ones that stand out to me right now.
One name that you didn't mention that stood out to me, excuse me while I rub my nose here, is Jamar Howard.
Mm-hmm.
Talk about his performance, because he jumped out very quickly in the plays with his performance. His name got called quite a bit last Friday night between Steven and I. He's a new addition to the team this season. And Steven describes him as a mixture between what we know as Asani Berkeley and Carlton Brown with the height and the speed. I want to hear your analysis of Howard and his impact to this team this season.
Well, JJ is got to be one of the nicest kids I've ever met. Honestly, the kid never stops smiling. He's got one of the friendliest demeanors, and he's just one of the sweetest, kindest-hearted kids I've ever been around. I love his energy on the team. He's a really, really special young man who's still learning the game. I will say where he's starting at right now and where Carlton and Asani started at several years ago are two very different places. JJ's light years ahead of where those kids were when they first started. JJ still has a lot to learn and grow, and he made a couple mistakes in the game, but I think everybody can see just how special this young man really is. And I think, it's a fair assessment to say he's some sort of a mix of Carlton and Asani. He's not quite as tall as Carlton, but he's definitely faster than Carlton, and he's not quite as fast as Asani, but he can elevate and has a physical nature with his size and length that Asani didn't have. And so he's really some sort of combination of the two of them, but very, very different young man than those two. All three are very special. Extremely proud of all three of them. Sonny and Carlton are doing great things at their respective places. But yeah, JJ's just his nickname on the team right now is SpongeBob, because that kid he's always just the friendliest, happiest, go luckiest. He's just got a great attitude, and I think it's safe to say people are going to see a lot more of that kid throughout the year.
And just for those who may not be keeping track, Asani Berkeley at San Jose State with the Spartans, mm-hmm. and then Carlton Brown up in Reno with the Wolfpack of Nevada. So just mm-hmm. to keep you all informed of where those two athletes have continued their career. Let's move on to this week, Coach. Typically it's Kairos. But given that we're still in the middle of this pesky pandemic that just doesn't want to shake us, things have been modified and moved around, and now you have an extra week to fully prepare for your upcoming component. But first, let's talk about Kairos and kind of fill in the people in what that is if they don't know, and what the time plan is for that going down the road.
Yeah, Kairos is a huge tradition at Mission Prep, something we're extremely proud of. It's a senior tradition. All the seniors go on a major retreat. It's one of the most crucial, maybe the most crucial week of the school year for Mission Prep. And it's a pretty standard thing for a Catholic school to do. It's an incredible retreat. It's an incredible week of class bonding. And you'll see and hear some people and some kids really come out of their shell and do some just incredible, spectacular things during this week. So something that's really sacred to us. It's something that I'm extremely proud of. We're very, very proud every year whenever we have a football player who's considered one of the leaders of Kairos. That's something that I take deep pride in. And so we really kind of build into the football schedule. Wherever Kairos is, we're going to build around that. And so that's typically how we do it. Due to a number of different aspects, we decided to postpone Kairos till we could do it fully the way we want to. And so it's been postponed. So that makes this week a regular bye week. But yeah, Kairos is very, very special for us and for our community. It really is a great opportunity for kids to kind of get deeper in their faith and then the trust with each other and their bonding as a class, and really kind of explore some other sides that you don't normally see in class. So that's a big deal for us. Yeah.
And with that bye week coming up next week, you have Central Valley Christian, the Cavaliers, your first road game of the year, your second longest of the year, going to Visalia to play the Cavaliers. Talk about the preparation going into this game with having 2 weeks now to prepare for an opponent that's on the likes of a St. Joseph Knights of Santa Maria.
Yeah, I mean, Central Valley Christian is very, very good. We've got the utmost respect for that program. Feel like they're incredibly well coached, very, very detailed. You know, there are a few coaches that I have greater respect for than Mason Hughes. I find him to be a tremendous man of God. I think he runs a very well organized, very detailed football program, and you can tell the amount of work he has put in to create the powerhouse that he has. And so, we have nothing but tremendous respect for that school and that program. You know, it's going to be tough to see how we match up. We've only played one game, and you know, I don't really know where all the matchups are going to be yet. You know, and to be honest, we've really focused heavily this week more on kids really emphasizing academics and getting JV ready for a game this Friday, their first game of the year. And so JV's kind of gotten a lot of the focus for their game this Friday. Varsity's kind of getting some time to kind of, you know, work on some conditioning and strength and muscle building, and then try to really use their free time that they're getting to make sure they're taking care of all the academics that have to get done. And I will say Mission Prep has a standard academically and physically, you know, when it comes to athletics, that make it very, very tough. And that's why time management and personal discipline is such a big deal for us, because otherwise it's going to be really hard to get your job done and stay eligible at Mission Prep. And so kids have to work very, very hard. They have to put in a little bit extra than almost everybody else, just to keep up. And you see the kids usually embody that in a special way and turn it into not just what's the bare minimum. It turns into how can, you know, there's always work to be done. There's always an initiative to be taken. And our kids have learned or are in the process of learning how to do that and how to take advantage of all their time. And so that's why that's a bigger focus this week, is more on establishing personal discipline and time management. And, you know, there's very minimal preparation for Central Valley Christian right now. We're going to kind of focus more on setting that back up next week and kind of keep each week the same with the routine there. So
it sounds like your game plan is a solid game plan. You know, sometimes you got to focus on the internal before you focus on the external. Yep. to fully grow, and that's absolutely correct. You got to take some time for yourself if you want to produce, you know, quality results. And yep. Hopefully your kids see that this week, and they're able to continue to excel personally, as they do miss Kairos with the pandemic. Coach, one question out of the pocket. I left this one hidden from you. I think I kind of got a glimpse of it. Friday night, you don't have a game. What's on the slate?
Yeah, we're so JV is playing at Atascadero, and you know, our JV team is pretty much all freshmen, and so they'll be competing against Atascadero on Friday at 4:00. And so I know we'll have you know, a large majority of the staff there at that game and actively supporting the team there. And then, you know, for myself personally, I'm probably gonna go home and spend time with my little girl. So she, you know, my oldest just started school today. Her first day of school was today, and so we'll probably spend some time celebrating this weekend and having a great time. So, you know, it's going to be a nice weekend. So,
Coach, I appreciate you joining us for the Coaches Show. That's head coach David Schuster of the Mission Prep Royals football program. out of San Luis Obispo, California, 1-0, kicking off the season with a win over the Brentwood School Eagles of Los Angeles, 49-7. We'll return next week with head coach David Schuster. I'm Brian Stanley for Chris Sylvester, Stephen Hodges, and everybody else at Prep Sports Network. Thank you for joining us.